2 days after the giant lion killed its master, Arwen the beast tamer, Laura slowly regained consciousness. Dizzy from blood loss and her body aching from her wounds, she struggled to her feet. The dim light of the cave disoriented her. Where am I? It's that cave. Where's my child? She glanced around. The cave was spotless, as though no battle had ever taken place. The wolf she'd slain before losing consciousness was gone. No corpse, no blood. She didn't know that Arwen's remains had also vanished without a trace. Then, she heard the soft giggles of her child, the sound pulling her outside. Stepping cautiously toward the cave entrance, she froze. Her baby was sitting on the massive head of a sleeping golden lion, tugging on its ears, laughing joyfully. Around them, the wolves that had once chased her were frolicking like playful pups. Her heart raced. What is that giant lion? How did it get here? Are those the wolves from before? Why are they acting like this? Summoning her courage, she ignored her pain, ran forward, scooped up her child, and turned to flee. With a quick incantation, her feet glowed as a speed spell carried her through the dense forest. Her child laughed in her arms as she looked back. The lion stood at the cave's entrance, gazing at her but making no move to follow. The wolves, however, darted after her, tails wagging as if they wanted to play. I don't understand what's going on, she whispered to her child, her voice trembling. If you're somehow doing this, please stop. I just want a normal life, raising you far away from all this. Her child stopped laughing. He looked at his mother and smiled, his eyes calm and knowing. Then, for the first time, he closed his eyes and fell asleep in her arms. As soon as he drifted off, the wolves vanished into thin air. The forest was silent once again. Laura ran for 2 more days, but exhaustion soon overtook her. Her strength waned, and her speed spell faltered. Stumbling to a stop beside a tree, she struggled to cast a healing spell on herself. The spell fizzled, draining the last of her energy. I can't go on, she murmured, her vision blurring. Desperately, she scanned her surroundings, hoping for a place to hide, but it was futile. Holding her child tightly, she collapsed, her consciousness fading once more. Sometime later, a group of hunters passed through the woods. Draven, the leader, frowned. We've been at this for hours and not a single deer? No birds, no tracks. This forest feels wrong today. His sister, Sarah, nodded uneasily. Even the birdsong is gone. It's too quiet. We shouldn't go deeper into the forbidden woods, Draven said. It's too dangerous. Just then, a faint cry reached their ears. Draven urged his horse toward the sound. In a clearing, they found Laura lying unconscious, her dress stained with blood. He dismounted quickly, checking her pulse. She's alive. We need to get her back to the village. Sarah carefully picked up the crying child. She has a baby? She said softly, trying to soothe him. The group worked quickly, lifting Laura onto a horse. Draven's voice was firm. Something isn't right in these woods. Let's leave immediately. Laura awoke in a warm, cozy wooden bed. The scent of herbs filled the room, and she noticed an elderly woman sitting beside her. The woman smiled gently. Don't be afraid. My name is Nora. My son found you in the woods and brought you here. You're safe now. How are you feeling? My child, Laura said weakly, panic rising. Where is he? Nora pointed to a small bed in the corner of the room. He's right there, sleeping. I'll bring him to you. Laura held her child tightly as Nora added, You're in a village called Greenland. Rest and recover. If you need anything, just call for me. As Nora left, Laura gazed at her baby, overwhelmed with relief. You're safe, she whispered. After everything we've been through. Her child stirred, reaching out to touch her face. Warmth spread through her body, her wounds healing in seconds. Laura stared in awe as her pain and exhaustion disappeared. Before she could process what had happened, a man's voice interrupted her thoughts. So, you're a healer? Laura looked up sharply. Draven stood in the doorway. I suspected as much when I found you, he said. You don't have to worry. No one here will harm you or your son. This is a peaceful place. Laura nodded slowly, grateful he believed the healing power was hers. Thank you, she said. I don't have anywhere else to go. Staying here for now would mean a lot. You're welcome here, Draven said. But keep your powers quiet. This village has no other power users, and we want to keep it that way. 9 years passed in Greenland. Laura and her son, Kira, lived a quiet life. She worked in her small garden, while Kira played in the fields with the village children. Kira, don't wander too far, Laura called. Kira waved back, smiling, before returning to his friends. Among them was Stephen, the mayor's son. Careful, Kira, Stephen teased. The field rats might get you. Adam, Draven's son, defended him. Leave him alone, Stephen. Or he might just beat you again. Stephen smirked. Not anymore. His hair began glowing blue, and he floated inches off the ground. See that? I'm a power user now. The others gawked in amazement. When did this happen? Adam asked. Stephen landed smugly. 3 days ago, on my 10th birthday. Soldiers are coming soon for the power users test, and they'll scan everyone. He turned to Kira with a malicious grin. Stretching his hands, Stephen launched a blue electric ball toward Kira's chest. In that instant, time slowed for Kira. The electric orb spiraled toward him, its crackling sound amplified. He could see the birds in the distance, their wings beating in slow motion. Instinctively, he raised his hand. The orb struck him, but instead of harm, it rebounded, shooting back at Stephen. The mayor's son was thrown to the ground, blood trickling from his nose. Laura, hearing the commotion, rushed over. Kira, are you hurt? Before Kira could respond, soldiers appeared at the edge of the village. Draven whispered, Stay calm. Blend into the crowd. But one soldier had already noticed them.